Good evening, good evening. Welcome, one and all, to what we believe may well be the last ever JACKOCAR Cup Series season. And we are going to kick it off in the same track, the same venue where we began for, 5 years ago here in Australia, down under a race that day where Mike Kelterborn started on pole, but it was eventually won by Michael Okeke, one of his two wins. And of course, Michael Okeke is joined by many other famous names in this season as we brought back some old ones, brought in some new ones, but it's the same old JACKOCAR, and it's season 10. Owen Wyatt has let us down as ever. He said he would be here. He is not. He's working on the golf and thinks that's a bad thing for the BBC. Instead, we have his replacement, Mr. Danny Quinn. How are you this evening, Mr. Quinn? Are you doing well?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, of course. It's great to be back into the commentary box with you, and yeah, it's going to be a very, very exciting race here down under.
Thank you very much, Danny Quinn. That we will be toing and froing between each other all evening. Whilst we wait for the first gap in qualifying, because there's only 18 drivers tonight. There is no Nick Egan starting the first of his free race ban, or free races of a ban, and there is no Benjamin Shaw because he is at a wedding tomorrow morning. So it means the returning Connor Byers will kick us off underway round about now. I can hear one of the engines fired up. Connor Byers, who missed last season and said to me he would come back for the final season of JACKOCAR, and here he is, true to his word. He will get us underway for season 10 as I unrust myself and work out what I actually need, because I have no idea. It's been a long time since commentary last happened. Of course, Danny, we can talk about all the flaws of this game, of which there are many. Have you got it? Oh, you've obviously got it because you're here in the box with me. Are you a fan of it, like to drive or what? Because I don't think many people are.
Well, other than today, the only other time I played it was literally launch. So, yeah, that's
no.
my opinion on the game.
There you go.
No, I really don't. The minimal amount of time that I've played this game, can't really form my own real opinion on it, but so far I prefer the last game.
That's an opinion I share with you as Connor weaves to warm the tyres up. The first issue I will alert you to is the game sound. So as this car goes by, that's just a generic noise. It's not the real noise of that car that you can hear, so that the noises are fake. So if we have one spin off, you're still going to hear the car fly by as if nothing ever happened. But from one floor to another, Connor Byers' haircut, Connor Byers will get us underway then into turn one and turn two. A little snap, but an equally good recovery to keep it facing the correct way. DRS open for the first time, and into turn three he comes. Of course, this is Australia with the new layout. It's been with us, what's this now, 3 or 4 seasons. It's a lot better. It's superiorly, is that a word? Vastly improved, let's say, this section here, where you can just hit the throttle and just steer your way through the entire second sector. Makes life a whole lot easier. It does create a few more overtaking opportunities. Good to see Connor Byers back as well from his ventures in ACC. I don't know if he was any good or not. If he's anything like he is here, he was rubbish. So we'll assume he had an average season in ACC. But back into JACKOCAR he comes then. And into Sector 3 he comes as well. All 4 wheels between the lines. A man with another very poor opinion of the game, but he has kept it valid for the entire way round. We're going to have a clean lap to begin season 10 then. Connor Byers to the line. It's a 1:17.8. We have no idea if that's any good or not. So we'll move on down to Michael Okeke, who, true to form, has invalidated in qualifying. And whilst we wait for next up would be Michel Goris, a quick note on these liveries. There's only one. So the differences you'll see is the colours. Have you managed to achieve anything in the custom liveries, Danny, or nothing as yet? Danny Quinn is not there.
Well, I've had a look into the custom liveries that you can choose from, but there isn't many options.
No, I think it's 1 on the normal edition, 3 on the Champions edition, and then a handful that you can buy in the shop with those ever so valuable points. What points are they called? Pit points. Pit coins, that's it.
Yeah, pit coins. Oh, Michel.
Michel saves it.
He touched the grass. He touched the grass on the left on the entry, and that just destabilised him.
Yep. Michel has, however, kept it valid, as we hear from Matt Lester. He did a 20-minute 5K around this track. 5K, I don't know if that's a walk or a run or a cycle, but Matt Lester was here when he was meeting his new girlfriend. A 120.2 from Michel Goris. We'll move on then to Peter Knighton. Here he is, as ever, Team Speed Blue, same livery as what we've already seen at least twice so far. Michael Okeke had this car in green. I've forgotten the colours in the off-season. And this is the first season where I have had no interest at all in coming back. But now we're getting going, Danny. Let's say low-key excited. Low-key, though.
Well, yeah, of course. It's the potential last season of JACKOCAR as Pete goes top of the timings for now. And I think it's Jordan coming up next and coming through the fast death section. I've had some intel from Casper saying that you only really need to do either a downshift or a very small lift going through the fast S's, so vastly different from the last game.
Something I know nothing about when it gets all technical like that. I have no idea what you esports people are on about, but here's Jordan Lane, finally a race winner in JACKOCAR. We saw it towards the back end of last season. Can he go and get one more before we shut our doors? He's P2 on the grid as it stands. Jordan Lane there, a 17.3. Next up is the man who had pole position here in our first ever season, Mike Kelterborn, the inaugural pole sitter of JACKOCAR and Australia. Can he repeat that? We are expecting somewhat of a mixed up grid tonight, purely because it'll be Casper P1, but then everybody else behind him who has not touched the game. So who knows what's going to happen, but it's JACKOCAR.
Yeah,
anything can happen.
That sounds about right. It sounds about right. Casper P1 and everyone else is following.
Casper with 143 hours played on this game. Mike Kelterborn does not replicate his pole position lap of 5 years ago. He goes P4, which moves us on to Jamie Griffiths. The last time you heard from Jamie Griffiths, he was here in the commentary box with me and Owen Wyatt on Championship 5 night. Oh, big moment. Whoa. He's already invalidated. It's a lovely looking livery. It's the best one I'd say we've seen. But that lap is gone.
Yeah, I think we've got Risky coming up next, and he's just coming up behind Jamie, so...
Let's go on board then for the first time. Sullivan Lewis. These cars sound awful on board as they do off board. Yeah. Bring back the V8s, that's all I can say. Penultimate corner then for Sullivan Lewis. Of course, Kia Series champion, it has to be said, from last season. And closing in on, I think he's already overtaken you, but closing in on Yuri's record of race wins in the Kia Series. He goes P3 here for the minute. Speaking of Yuri, he is next.
Yeah, I don't even know how many wins I've got in Kia, to be honest. But yeah, Yuri coming up next, going through Sector 1. See what the split is. It is a 27-0. That's quite a decent Sector 1. And you might see some different lines going through here. Some people like to stick to the inside, others like to take the wide line, carry the speed through. He hugs the inside of the corner to open up the second part, and that's very well from Yuri there.
There he goes
yeah,
through.
It's looked like a decent lap from him so far.
Yeah, you were speaking of Kia Series wins. Yuri has 15 of them. Leroy has 6. Sullivan has 8. Oh, and so does Danny Quinn. You're also on 8. For those interested, Jake Warrior and Waze Kuba also on 6 wins each. Yuri over the line. It's a 1:17.9 as we move on to his brother Leroy. Here he is, 13th on the list. Of course, all these guys were worried about being so far off the pace and maybe being nowhere near the front, but when it all happens on the night, look at them, they're all in the 17s so far. Does Leroy have the ability to take it into the 16s? I know one man at least who does. You'll see him later on. I believe he is third from last out. Big moment there though for Leroy. I'm referring to, of course, Casper Klein. But Leroy into the final corner. Where will he go? DRS wide open as he powers down towards turn 1 and over the line. It's P4.
That would have been a really good lap from Leroy if he didn't have that half spin.
Here we are.
To still only have a 17.7 with that half spin, it could have been in the 16s.
He could be rapid. Let's do a whole lap on board with Gareth Hall. I'm not going to say anything. Enjoy this absolute masterpiece. The only reason I say that is because I've ran out of things to say. It was a great opportunity to have a drink as well. So I fully utilised that. Gareth Hall with a lovely toe in the middle sector. Notoriously, we've seen over the past few seasons, he doesn't qualify much higher than P11 once all the cars have been out. P11, P12, P13 is where you usually see him. Onto the pit straight he comes then. There's the man from Crawley. Where does he go tonight? P4. It's a good lap for Gareth Hall.
I don't think he used DRS. Because
he may not have learnt where to button. He hasn't learnt that one yet. Here's Jake O'Sullivan, 2-time Cup Series champion, missed out on the C5 last time out. He goes P1, but still yet to break the 17s. And that's one of the faster drivers, the fastest you've seen so far. Here's another one coming up. It's Arnaud de Grief. And what can the Belgian do? Somehow he's one of those drivers who does not have a title in this league. It baffles us every day that we exist as a league. Arnaud de Grief, robbed in Season 2, missed out in Season 1, stolen at the line on Season 3. Arnaud, P1 and into the 16s. We're finally there. Wakey, wakey, everyone. The Belgian has turned up. As we'll move on then to everyone's favourite. I can't say that. Here's Kieran. I had to stop myself. Here is Kieran Spears. 12 of us watching along. It's great to see. Welcome back to JACKOCAR Season 10, the final season.
Jacko, you can do what you want.
I'll hold off till the final race at least. And here he is then, Sector 3 for the young man from Aylesbury. He doesn't know anything outside of the walls of Aylesbury, of course. Aylesbury, a famously walled city, much like Rome and York. That is a lie. Aylesbury doesn't have walls. He just doesn't like to leave it. But can Kieran get anywhere near the front if he doesn't like to go anywhere else? Yes, he can. That's a massive lap. He goes half a second clear of Arnaud de Grief. And now then, what about Corey Dalton? Every season he tells us it's his season. Is it this season? Season 10, his last opportunity to win a championship. He's back once again. Corey Dalton in the yellow and purple machine, reminiscent of Lewis Hamilton's race helmet. Can he get it anywhere near the front? Much like Lewis Hamilton the other day. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. Silverstone winner. What a great return to form for him. But here's the final corner, and here's Corey Dalton, full throttle to the line. It's a 16.2 to beat, set by Kieran. Corey can only go P3, but another driver, sub 117. There's no Ben Shaw here, so we're going to get a little rest before Casper goes out. The man that we get, the man that we expect to be on pole. And he has assured me that the icy blue is icy blue and not white. I was annoying him earlier and saying it's definitely white.
Yeah, fully expecting him to at least be the only person to get into the 15. So if it was to happen, it would be Casper.
Yep, and if it doesn't happen, he will be ridiculed all season for it.
Yep.
Of course, coming off the back of 2 seasons in a row where he has made the Championship 5. Maybe it's third time lucky. He's been gradually knocking on the door and getting closer every season. Is season 10 the swan song season? Is it his time? The young Finnish man, now officially the most successful Finn we've had in JACKOCAR. He has been for some time, but I've just never said that.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to know. Round the final couple of corners then. Casper Klein. And he'll floor it here. We expect him to be leading by 2 seconds by the time turn 1 comes around. It's only P2 though. Kieran ahead of Casper with 2 drivers to go. It's the midfield man, everyone's favourite Ben Harrett. Here he is, but he's invalidated. He's thrown away that amazing qualifying slot of second from last out. We'll watch him for a few more seconds before we move on to the final driver. But Ben Harrett, another man who's been to 2 Championship 5s in a row. Once via the playoffs, once via the chase. We'll switch away and we'll go on board with now a 2-time JACKOCAR Cup Series champion, the reigning champion. Khalifa El Khalifa is here. He's back once again, vowing to become only the only person to win 3 Cup Series titles, and nobody in all of JACKOCAR Cup and Kia has ever defended a title. This is the final opportunity for anyone to ever do it. Khalifa, through Sector 2 he comes, the DRS and the ARS are being used. He gets his braking point spot on, power on, under the Qatar Airways hoarding, around to the right, brakes heavy for the left-hand turn. It will leave him with 1 corner to go. Will this challenge Kieran's time of a 16.2? We know it's Casper who won't be on pole, but is it Kieran or is it Khalifa? It's going to be one of the Ks. Khalifa, P1, a 16.198. He's back on pole with Australia, and what a way to start the defence of your championship from season 9.
Yeah, it was a very, very good lap from Khalifa there, and Kieran and Khalifa on the front row. That's going to be very interesting going into turn 1.
Oh, you caught me mid-sip, Danny. It is important to note that the 3 guys at the front have had the game for some time. So really, we're only interested in 4th down. And of course, next week we will see the return of Ben Shaw, and in 3 weeks' time we'll see the return or the debut full-time season for Nick Egan. That will give us a full 20-car grid. But for now we have 18, and it's this man, Khalifa El Khalifa, who takes pole position in Australia and also the lead of the championship in playoff point terms. Danny Quinn will give you a rundown of the order because I'm sorting something out.
Alright, so, of course, Khalifa Al Khalifa is the pole man. Then we've got Kieran in 2nd, Casper in 3rd, Arnaud in 4th, Corey in 5th. Then we have Jake in 6th, Pete in 7th, Jordan in 8th, Sullivan in 9th, and Gareth in 10th.
And that's it, Danny. Stop there, because you know what we always say here in commentary in the Cup Series? If you're not in the top 10, the rest of them, they're rubbish. We don't care about them.
Yep.
But Gareth, by the way, he went P4 at the time. He ended up P10, which is an improvement on his average qualifying from the last 3 seasons combined. Not a lot to talk about. Somebody forgot to ask the drivers what jokers they wanted for this season. It wasn't until this morning when that message went out. So nobody is having a joker in Australia, which means it is ineligible, along with the 2 France Super Speedway races, one in 3 weeks' time and one in the postseason. Both of those will be run on Formula 1 23. And the other ineligible race is the final one in Abu Dhabi under the lights 1 week before Christmas. So they are the 4 races that the drivers cannot pick as a joker. But all the other ones are eligible. And I'm still waiting on 7 of the guys to get back to me, would you believe? I know I took my time, but come on, guys. If anyone hasn't replied to me by midnight, I will force a track upon them. Stage points are lap 7 and lap 14, which means the second mandatory pit stops can take place from lap 15 onwards. The rest is unchanged. It is JACKOCAR rules, JACKOCAR that you know and love. So in the next couple of minutes, we'll be underway for Season 10, one final time then. And what a ride it has been. Here we go then, on to the Australian grid. And the sound bugs out, as it should, because it's a Codemasters game through and through. But Khalifa will lead us away with Kieran, Casper, Arnold and Corey, the top 5. It is very much an unchanged top 6 in terms of big names at the front of the grid. Of course, no Ben Shaw as yet, and we do wonder where the likes of Nick Egan will slot in, and Gareth Hall, once he can get his act together, one of the big names, I dare say. He did pay me to say that. And let me do one other thing. Everyone likes me to change this to tyres, so I'll do it now before I get complained at. And yeah, we've got about a minute and then we can get going. Danny Quinn, what are you expecting from this race? It kind of looks a little bit semi-overcast.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it doesn't look very... The clouds don't look very nice out there, so could potentially see some rain. But, well, I don't really know what to expect, really. Maybe, like I said before, I've hardly even touched this game, so I have no idea about strategies. I don't think anyone has any idea about strategies. So it's going to be a learning experience for everyone here.
That is something I can certainly agree with. We know nothing. That is the joy that a new game brings us. The uncertainty amongst the drivers is something that fills us with a lot of joy. But
what we do know...
Go on.
What we do know is going to be utter chaos.
Oh yes, it's JACKOCAR anyway. That is to be expected. Yes, it's going to be somewhat emotional, I think, seeing these guys on this grid for the last time. We are seeing spinners on the grid. This has been outlawed, but I think they might be genuine mistakes looking at it from the final corner up the field.
Looked like it was Gareth and maybe Risky.
Yeah, it did look like Risky.
Yeah.
So most of the drivers have lined up straight. Another handful of them
I think Gareth's forgotten where his grid slot is. Oh no.
There he is. He's in. So then, welcome to Australia, everybody. It's Albert Park, it's Melbourne, it's JACKOCAR, it's Down Under, and 5 lights have gone, and we are underway for Season 10 of the Cup Series. Who gets away well? Kieran and Khalifa off the front row. It looks like Kieran is already side by side as he leads into Turn 1 and overtakes the Season 9 champion. Casper is there in P3. Arnold third, Jake already up to 5th, and Corey has dropped down to 6th. Pete Knighton has retained 7th for now, and happening further down, Khalifa runs a little bit wide and Casper goes around the outside. That's a good move, is it? All the way round and through goes Arnold as well. Fantastic stuff. The pole sitter has lost 3 positions in the space of 4 corners, which is not what he would have been wanting. Further down, you're seeing Connor at the back fighting with OKK and Jamie Griffiths. There they are. Speed Gareth all the way down to 15th from P10. Let's go back to the front. Have they sorted themselves out up here? Yes, they have, by the looks of it. And it's Jake O'Sullivan looking very, very racy. What can he do as he looks to recover from a below par season 9? He's already trying to get side by side with Khalifa down into whatever corner this is. Number 12, is it? I don't know. I don't really care. But Jake O'Sullivan harassing the back of Khalifa early doors as the drivers come round to complete lap 1. It's Kieran, somewhat unexpectedly maybe, leading the way, but look at that. The ominous figure of 143 hours on this game already sits right behind him. Playoff point for Kieran for leading a lap. He now ties Khalifa in the championship, but it's a long, long way to go. 21 race season, and Jamie Griffiths will make the first pit stop of the season. However, it's non-mandatory.
Yeah, he jumped the start, so...
Oh, that was silly, wasn't it?
Yeah, he actually got a drive through.
What a tit. Anyway, back to the front. I think we're going to have to go on board with Casper, because this looks like it's going to be inevitable. He just looks so much more confident than Kieran, under braking, under acceleration, through the corners. He's just got it sorted, hasn't he? He's sussed this game out, unlike nobody else. OKK and Connor fighting at the back, and here goes Casper then to the outside of Kieran. This would be interesting, and this, by the way, is turn 12, or used to be. I don't know what it is anymore. If you at any point want to correct me, please butt in.
I'm not sure on the corner numbers, but something we didn't quite mention, or, well, I'm not sure if you knew this, but to reflect real life, DRS is actually active at the start of lap 2 instead of lap 3.
See, I wouldn't have known that.
That is why Casper found it so easy to get past Kieran.
God damn it, as he sets the fastest lap as well. But Kieran is very much there. Don't mind me, folks. I'm just putting in the lap sled already, because then I don't have to watch the race back. OKK, 3-second penalty. First one of the season for any driver. Yellow flags are out for... It is indeed. Oh no, it's Jamie Griffiths.
That's Jamie. Yeah.
He's not liking this, is he?
OKK off into the gravel turn 1. He's overshot it and missed the entry.
Still within DRS range of Michelle, though.
Seeing the mixed up grid is got me excited for the rest of the season. Of course, we've already got big gaps. We've got 3-second gap to the back of Pete from Jordan, and I did just miss that. There's Khalifa and Jake going side by side through the S's, and Jake got through and there was a change for the lead there. Kieran got past Casper.
We got a little bit of it.
All the action happening at the front.
Yeah, so I think that's where we're going to focus our attention, but Khalifa is not giving up.
Pete spun.
He hasn't, surely not. He has. Some things never change. Pete Knighton around. Kieran leads another lap though, and Khalifa has now lost another position. Leroy Hazelager makes the first official pit stop of F124 in JACKOCAR, and here he goes then. Oh, that's new. I got vibration through the controller.
Yeah, I did as well.
Cool. Bloody hell, they have changed things for this game. It's amazing. Back to the front.
It's still really close in the top 5. Corey has dropped off a little bit from the back of Khalifa, but he still holds about a 4-second gap to Jordan in behind. Just keeping an eye on Casper. He's really starting to close up on Kieran. He's going to look to get a move down the inside. Kieran leaves enough room for him. And Casper says thank you very much and just takes the lead of this race.
I think that's how you've got to drive this game, or drive this track, isn't it? Such as the way you're going to get DRS every lap. But Arnold is looking really good. Around the outside. Danny Quinn called it first. But can Arnold get around Kieran? No, he can't. Classic Kieran defensive manoeuvring. Just about within the rules. Keeps Arnold behind him.
This battling is bringing Jake and Khalifa back into it as Kieran actually had a little bit of a rear end wobble coming out of the final corner, but Arnaud just hasn't got the speed to capitalise on it. So yeah, all this battling is actually bringing Corey a bit closer in. He's gained over a second on this lap alone just from the Arnaud and Kieran battle.
That's good news for Corey as he's just hit a curb. Went on board at the wrong time there. We did catch that one, Corey. He is the only man in the field on soft tyres. So there were a few more soft tyre runners when we started, but clearly that is not the tyre you want to be on. The yellow flags are out. No, they're not. It's just a glitch.
Oh, no, it is. It is.
Is it?
Mike. Mike was going slow.
Where is he? He's there.
He was... Yeah, he's behind KK now.
Oh, someone's mic is very crackly. Is it me or is it you?
No. Is that better?
Oh, I took mine out as well, so we'll never know. One of us was crackling up real bad. Anyway, Casper.
If you could hear it, it was probably me because I couldn't hear it. But going back on to the battle, look at that from Jake as he goes round the outside of Kieran at the final corner. Now Kieran's down in P4 and he's got Khalifa breathing down his neck.
And Jordan gets past Corey, but that's because Corey pits. So, yeah, Jordan actually looking all right, isn't he? Khalifa, Kieran, Jake are now Casper. Oh, sideways Khalifa. Really struggling.
Still getting to grips with this game. And is that a little bit of... I thought I just saw a little bit of spits of rain. That might just be my eyes.
No, I thought that when we're having our crackling issue. But it has got darker, definitely. Very noticeable.
Yeah. Usually you can tell from looking at the liveries if they've got glossy, but not really. No, I don't think it's raining just yet.
So, back on board with Kieran Spears, who has led 2 laps of this race so far. He is in a train of what is now 4 cars. Khalifa has been dropped. Where am I looking, Danny?
Looking at this freeway battle between Connor, Gareth and Ben.
Let's have a look. Let's go to it. Yeah, this was a good decision to come across. And so Connor comes out on top by the looks of it. And
yeah, Ben got very, very close to hitting into the back of Connor, but Gareth, yeah, he's looking quite racy behind Connor, but Connor's doing a really good job.
Little note on Gareth.
He doesn't like any F1 games at all. He's doing a really good job. Who's that?
Jamie Griffiths around again. Yeah. We're going to ignore it. But Gareth running no traction control for the first time ever, to my understanding, as they stay with Connor, and that's going to be a late dive from Ben Harris. He takes Gareth out with him, and off the track he will let Gareth back through, who's spun anyway, so it doesn't matter. What a shame. So I shouldn't laugh, that's not funny. That might be side pod damage for Gareth Hall. He doesn't quite have the same confidence, I don't think, as he's now going to come under threat from Mike and Corey. Of course, Corey, fresh legs with those new mediums. There are now no soft runners in the field, just the one hard runner. It is Sullivan Lewis. Here goes Corey, there's one. Can he get 2? Mike Kelterborn with the DRS because he got it off the back of Gareth. Will hold position.
Jake is in.
Jake indeed does pit.
And he's got 3-second time penalty. We both missed that.
No, he did get that on the lap before when in the middle of his overtake that he was doing. Casper, by the way, picks up the stage 1 win. So we've had 4 playoff points dished out already this evening. 1 to Khalifa, 1 to Kieran, and 2 to Casper.
Yeah, he comes out comfortably ahead of Corey. So Ben has pitted as well as OKK. So yeah, I was just, that's Mike going off at turn 1.
And here comes Leroy as well. Leroy versus Corey has always been a good battle. What will they do here? Yeah. Corey runs wide and Leroy just says thank you very much, and through he goes up into P9. Yeah. Fantastic.
Say, Corey really doesn't look comfortable with his race pace, as that's Jamie Numbers with
Yeah,
another penalty.
Not now. He's lost the leading pack. Let's say the leading pack, by the way, is just Casper and Kieran at the minute.
He is coming back. He is coming back at Leroy, and he has the overspeed.
Sorry, I left that by mistake. Yeah, Corey with the DRS to get him through. Noticing a lot of the drivers running the 5 car, of course. Remember when we used to strictly enforce you must run your number. Then the game broke over the years, and now it doesn't really matter what number you display, because even if you select the correct one, it'll probably show a different one anyway. So that's why you're seeing so many number 5, so many Kyle Larsons and Sebastian Vettels out there. But Corey Dalton is the number 69, not the number 5. P9 on track. And Arnaud comes into the pit lane. So let's go to Kieran Spears, who leads this race. We're going to do a quick VAR check to see who led the end of lap 8. So that I don't have to...
A little bit of contact between Casper and Pete right there. As Casper came out just literally millimetres ahead of Pete, and he is on the soft tyres, as that's Corey and Leroy once again battling away on track, and Corey having the better tyres, but Leroy showing he fakes the move down the inside, trying to unsettle Corey, but doesn't quite work out, and yeah, Jake gets past Pete, and now he's right on the back of Casper.
And here goes Leroy once again. Does he go around the outside of Corey here? Surely not. That's going to be brave. And he rightfully backs out of it as Jamie Griffiths finally retires from this race. It's a 10-second speeding in pit lane penalty. And that seems like it might be a rage quit. Get that one checked post-race, Benjamin Shaw, if you're watching. Because I don't think you're allowed to rage quit. Where am I? Leroy. Michelle Goris with a 3-second penalty. The yellow flags. I don't know if you're getting this, Danny. Top left corner when the yellow flag is out.
Yeah.
Does it flash?
It's flashing. Yeah.
Oh, that's so not right. I hate it. I hate everything about this game. But it's what we have to work with. And somebody is off. I'm not sure who that is. It's a green car. I think it was Jamie Griffiths' car.
Really big moment from Casper. And Jake is through.
And that is for a race leading position. By the way, it was Jamie Griffiths' car that retired on the exit outside of turn 2 that I saw.
Yeah, going into this fast S, it looks like Casper's just sticking behind for now, but he may look to get a move done, as that is Sullivan Lewis with a 3-second time penalty. Casper down the inside gets the move done as Kieran goes a bit deep into the corner, and Khalifa Al-Khalifa is into the pits, and he might lead this lap. Oh no, Jordan's in. So I do believe he might lead it unless Casper gets past first. I do believe Casper actually got past the start line first, so I do believe Casper led that lap. Might need to be a JACKOCAR on that.
Yeah, tell you what, if you talk about the race, I'm trying to catch up for lap 8, would you believe?
Jake goes down the inside. Very audacious dive bomb there from Jake, as the top 3 separated by pretty much half a second, with Kieran actually having the better of the tyres, 1 lap old mediums, and looking a bit further down, the closest bow apart from the top 3 is Yuri on Ben Harrison. Yuri crashes into the wall.
I'm watching this at the minute. 3-man battle for the race lead.
Not sure what happened there with Yuri. He just completely just...
Oh, Casper has just driven into the back of Kieran. Look at the frustration from the Finn as he shakes his steering wheel in anger at Kieran, who I don't know if he had to slow down for a delta, but Casper drove straight into the back of Kieran. Jake O'Sullivan, meanwhile, has driven away and will lead us on the restart. The majority of drivers have taken their first pit stop, I think. Here it is. Yes, everybody has done 1 mandatory, which is perfect. So yeah, now we've done that. Who led at the end of lap 10? That's what I'm just working out. Oh, this is the one you were trying to call earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah. I do believe it was Casper, but we'll need to check it.
VAR check is going on. Casper did indeed lead lap 10. Good spot, Danny Quinn. Lap 11 went to Jake O'Sullivan. Of course, don't forget, it is a playoff point for leading a lap, and it's another playoff point for leading the most laps in a race. Of course, if the most laps are shared, then both drivers, or all three drivers, however many that lead that amount of laps, get an additional playoff point. Don't forget as well, there are of course playoff points for being on pole, winning a stage at the fastest lap, second and third on the podium. The race winner gets 5, and if a joker wins, they also get 5. If you win on your joker, you get an additional 5. But there's so many playoff points available these days compared to what we used to have way back in 2020 when we first started doing this. I believe it was late January, a cold January night in Australia, and I was jet lagged from Daytona still, but we got JACKOCAR underway. Here we are 10 seasons later doing it all over once again. It is a lot more niche these days. The driver base is solid, but they love it. They keep coming back for more. They keep asking for more as well. A lot of them are saying we're not going to finish on a round number. They know about my OCD. They're calling for an 11th season.
Leroy's in the pits. I believe that's non-mandatory for Leroy.
It wouldn't matter anyway. He's already done a mandatory. And I'm still catching up with my stats here. So, yeah. So, rumours of an 11th season, but they are unconfirmed rumours, of course. We shall treat this as if it is our last. But 21 races in Cup this season, 17 in the Kia Series when it gets going. That's
my chance to go 0 for 5.
0 for 5. Part of the mindset of Gareth of thinking a bigger season in Kia is what they deserve. And it's more of a... it's all the big names of the Kia Series, isn't it? It should be fast. We should have 20-car grids once again in Kia.
Oh, still got an inactive chat.
Still got an inactive chat. That's because Cup is better. Because the Cup one certainly isn't inactive.
Safety car is in this lap.
Took the words from my mouth. I was having a drink though.
So, I'm not sure. Actually, I think it will still be Jake that gets the stage point. Or is it the end of lap 14?
End of lap 14, yeah.
Oh, so it's going to be an all-out brawl for the last stage point.
Yeah, and you'd like to think they'll all stay out for it, or try to. Because that playoff point could be valuable. We've seen people knocked out on 0 before. And then it goes back on countback. But if you don't know, JACKOCAR restarts. Once the safety car calls itself in, the race leader becomes the safety car, which is the same as Formula 1, but there is a designated restart zone, which Jake O'Sullivan will show you shortly. And this is the bit where it's similar to NASCAR. It should be single file all the way as we go on board with the man from Bishop Stortford. Any time after the Rolex branding, you can go, Mr. Two-time champion. Kieran isn't single file, but it doesn't matter because Jake O'Sullivan has got away well and will try and lead the way down into turn 1. Let's go further back, see if there's anything and anyone crashing. And there's a little bit of contact, and there's front wing everywhere. But we'll go back to the front.
Who was that? That's Ben. Ben Harrett, I believe. Oh, it looks... Actually, no, he's still got his front wing. But he did collide with the wall, and he fell all the way back, and that is Mike. Mike. I believe he had... Yeah, he's missing an end plate. The front right end plate.
And Gareth. Absolutely going for it. Jake, Kieran, Casper, still your top 3. Khalifa back there as well. And Corey is also back up to 5th. Kieran now leads this race. Can Jake do anything about that?
Kieran was going for that stage point, but Casper's making himself known here as well. But it looks like Jake's going to look round the outside. He just doesn't have enough speed, and it looks like Kieran may well get the stage point unless Jake does have something.
You can tell they all know about
it.
And I think that's pretty much certain, and another playoff point heading Kieran's way. So 1 for Casper, 1 for Kieran. There it is. He leads lap 14 and also leads the race. And from the end of this lap, drivers can make their second mandatory stop. So that'd be to the end for these guys. We certainly do have a race on our hands. Jake looking down the inside for the race lead. Sort of semi-thought about it, but let Kieran know he was there as they continue to fight away. And those front 4, they are once again breaking away from Corey. Even though they're in a train, they are dropping him quite nicely, but he has recovered a bit in this first sector. And is he bringing Jordan with him? Jordan, by the way, very much best of the rest, I would say. He's having a good race. He's consistently up there all race, all 15 laps of it so far, as Jake retakes the lead, and through we go once again in this fast section. It used to be turns 11 and 12, I think. I don't know. Everyone knows I don't know corner numbers. I'm also not a commentator. But Jake, and Khalifa's been spun out, and Jordan hits him, and there's front wing flying everywhere. That promotes Corey to 4th and Arnold to 5th. That was contact with Casper and Khalifa, the 2 ERT boys coming together. And Jake has led another lap here. And Kieran now under threat from Casper.
Oh, and I think that's Peter's been spun round, and he's been disqualified for blocking the pit lane.
That is unbelievable. What a way to start the season.
And that is Gareth's got a puncture, and Michelle's got a puncture.
And Michelle, how? Oh, sorry, I'm looking at Jordan. Okay.
Yeah, they must have run over some debris that was some of the front wing debris that was on the track.
As you see Pete's retired or disqualified car limp across turn 1. Oh dear.
Yeah, I believe that Pete had OKK trying to go around the inside of the final corner, and he just got tagged round by OKK, and of course he spun and his car was across the pit lane, and he got disqualified for blocking the pit lane.
We have seen that one before. It's such a stupid game. As Kieran, by the way, retook the lead, as it seems to be trading hands every lap now. He leads lap 16. Khalifa, despite the previous lap, has just set the fastest lap of this race. He isn't out of it either, but the 5 drivers in front of him are arguably the 5 fastest in the league. However, they are all within the same apex of corners, and this is fantastic. We have a 6-car battle on a brand new game here in the Cup Series. This is what we come to love and enjoy, as we see Arnold run wide and pick up a penalty. That's ruined his race. Khalifa also with a penalty, but has the ability, much like Arnold, to break that 3-second gap. What can he do with it as we are inside 13 laps to go here in Australia? Look at them all file through this corner. This is fantastic stuff. And they really are putting on a show here on night 1 of the 10th edition of the Cup Series. It's Corey in front of Khalifa and Arnold, the ERT boys, who are also stuck behind Casper, another ERT boy. It's Speed and ART that lead the way here. 13 of you still watching. Great to see. I wouldn't leave this one yet, because it looks like it could be a classic. Corey Dalton hits. Get this right, Corey. Don't speed. Nailed it. And we're going to go back to the front.
There's Ben Harrett in the pits as well, and someone who's running really well in this race hasn't really been mentioned is Connor. He was he is P7 with Corey, being in the net. He will be Well, he could
Don't come
actually
out.
come out in the lead if these guys don't pit within, I'd say, well, this or the next lap. Corey could well be in the lead.
Don't forget, all of
There's
these
actually
drivers.
Leroy.
He's just picked up a penalty. That's your fault. All of these drivers, Danny, still have a safety car stop in hand, should it be required, of course. The other man to not forget about is Jordan Lane. After that contact with Khalifa, he pitted that same lap. So he is good to the end. But he did put mediums on, and he was already on mediums. Yeah. So maybe he's not good to the end? I don't know. It always works itself out.
Soft tyres.
Did he? Yeah. Okay, and then must have pitted lap 3 or 4. Kieran has led another lap, but Jake, and oh my, that was sideways, wasn't it? Jake and his competitors all follow each other in here. Bloody hell, that was very sideways.
Jake, mediums for Casper, mediums for Khalifa, hards for Connor.
So it looks as if
the mediums for Okeke.
The medium is the preferred race tyre then. Look at Jake.
Oh, look at this. The battle coming out of the pits, and Corey is getting past Khalifa on the outside. Actually, no, he's side by side with Khalifa. He goes for the move round the outside. Khalifa covers him off, but now Corey's got the inside, and he should make the move stick, and he does. So Corey's past Khalifa, but
for how long?
Right on the back of him, pushing him through the corner.
You love to see it, don't you? Of course, Corey is the one ELT member who doesn't join the group parties, so he is racing or raw dogging his way around Australia. That's very much the saying. This is fantastic stuff from ELT though, and in goes Khalifa to P7.
Oh, 3 seconds.
Casper. So all of the top 7 have a penalty apart from Kieran Spiers, who is in the pit lane. So this is going to be close. Arnold's already taken the lead. He needs to pit again. Sullivan Lewis up there in what is now 3rd, along with Leroy in P2. This is interesting, isn't it?
3 times, so I don't know if that's...
He did an extra one under safety car. One was mandatory, one was non-mandatory. The other one, I don't have any account for.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was 7 laps ago. So it would have been lap 13, so I don't believe it's a mandatory stop.
Okay. 1 second. On out. Led lap 19. So, is there any action? There certainly is. Look at these guys.
A yellow flag.
Yep.
But he's still going.
We're staying with the leaders though, because they are all still together. Like we've never seen before for so long. Casper.
There is more of a gap between the top 3, but yeah, Casper downwards, everyone is just bunched together.
Look at Jake. Jake now through on Kieran. On those hard tyres, of course, with the harder tyres, he can push more.
There's Corey getting past Kieran as well. Kieran is falling down the field, and now... Oh, that is... Kieran's pitting.
He had to. They are 9-lap-old mediums, don't forget.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to get to the end.
Jake with another penalty. Khalifa and Arnold fighting.
For the hards.
Corey and Jake and Casper. Corey definitely doing a lot better in the second half of this race.
Yeah, definitely.
And seeing as Jake now has an extra penalty to those in front, what's he got to lose? He can maybe force Casper into a mistake. Certainly something that has happened before. We saw it on the final lap in Las Vegas. An opportunity to win the title, and he put it in the wall. And Jake, look at that, around the outside. Job done. Can he pull away? I don't think he can, because this DRS is incredibly powerful here. Inside 8 to go now. And Corey is through on Casper.
It was a great
I'd
move
say.
there from Corey. And I was just going to say, the top two do still, both of them still have to pit.
Yes.
They're both on 9 and 10 lap old tyres, meaning Risky pitted last on lap 12 and Leroy pitted on lap 13. So yeah, both of them still need to make a mandatory stop.
I feel like Sullivan is out there waiting to get a lap led in because Leroy has a playoff point already.
That's Michelle round.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as soon as I get to him, he's
way.
recovered. And as it stands, Corey is the net race leader due to the penalty situation.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, he is, yeah. 3 tenths behind Jake is going to be net race leader, as he might well take the actual leader. That's very close to him into the back of Jake.
What a move.
But yeah, round the outside he goes, and he inherits the net race lead.
Corey Dalton with a win today would put him level with Kyle Smith on 11 Cup Series wins all time. And look at them, Jake and Casper fighting behind. Let's go on board with Khalifa, because this could end in tears. Casper is getting suffocated out of P3. And Arnold said, don't forget, this is a 4-way battle. Someone on the right has kindly got out of the way for the leaders. There we go. And Jake will just block Casper quite nicely there. Of course, the ERT boys won't mind Corey winning this one. But I don't think... Casper! I don't think Casper quite expected... There you go. There's inevitable contact. I don't think Casper quite expected to have so much competition, did he? Because the way things were going, he was... oh my God, Khalifa. He was going to walk it. But I'm glad that hasn't been the case, purely because it's given this excellent display of racing. There's nothing else going on, so we may as well stay with the leaders. Very sorry to those of you who like to watch yourself back afterwards, but be more interesting, and we'll give you some TV time. The guys at the front are putting on a show.
Oh, that's yellows. Who's that? Oh wait, that's Michelle. That's Michelle moving out of the way of everyone. But yeah, Arnaldo's actually got himself within DRS range of Corey, so he's going to be closing in slowly but surely, and he's on the soft tyres that are 3 laps odd, so it's going to be a bit nip and tuck by the time he gets to the end of this race, whether the softs are going to be, well, useful or not. But everyone else around him should be able to get to the end easily.
To break away 3 seconds is going to be the hardest thing to do, of course. Yeah. He'll need to put Corey into, or force Corey into mistake. But don't forget, if we replicate what happened in Season 9, Arnaud de Grief opened the season with a race win. He was there in Portugal, and he put himself in the playoffs straight away on night 1. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's how you do it, and he's still there.
He's very close now, actually. Here we go. Corey is defending. Yeah, they're also catching up to the back of Sullivan, and there's another penalty, so that makes Corey's life easier. As,
yeah, it does, and Corey's catching up to the back of Risky, and if he gets a DRS...
there you go, he pits.
Risky, then it's going to be happy days for him. I don't think he did. No, he didn't. So now he's actually not going to go for a move here. He's going to potentially go for a move on the second DRS straight here. Did lose a bit of ground there, but don't think he's actually close enough to get a move done here. No, he isn't. So Corey's still leading away. Leroy does still have to pit again. He's on 12 lap old hard tyres.
As it stands, Leroy only needs to lead 2 more laps. By the way, Kieran gets past OKK. If Leroy leads 2 more laps, he'll have the most laps led this race. OKK penalty for going wide in the wake of Kieran's car, who knocked him out of the top 10. Arnaud making a move on Corey. Does it stick? Yes, it does, but 6 seconds he has to clear. I don't think it's possible with the best part of 4 laps remaining. What role does Leroy play in this race?
I feel Leroy just wants to have the most.
He's given it away. He is close enough to the start-finish straight that he should get another lap led.
Oh, Arnaud. Nearly into the wall there.
And it's Corey that will lead lap 25.
Yeah, Casper now finds himself in P2 and he has got the overspeed on Corey. He did, but now he doesn't. Corey got the DRS there. He's going for a slide.
Oh, these guys.
Going for a little slip and slide. And that is Ben getting close to Leroy, but he doesn't actually stick the move. And yeah, Arnaud with that spin is, I think he's completely destroyed those soft tyres. So I think he's going to be limping to the end, and that is Casper getting past Corey on the inside, very, very close to contact. He's going to get a second dose of DRS, and Khalifa's going to get it. So he's going to close right up to the back of Corey, but he's not going to have enough room to get an overtake done, and that is KK with a 10-second time penalty now.
Heartbreak. There have been a lot of penalties. It's something we do see on new games when they come out the first few weeks as drivers look to find the limits of the tracks. You'd like to think they'd be the same every season, but apparently not. Certainly this one with its handling model has really forced the drivers into a new approach, isn't it? Where if you're smoother, there you go. If you're smoother with your steering, it benefits you, I think, on this game.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Corey
that's a shame for Corey, because he had the race win in his own hands and then he's thrown it away for a penalty. So right now he's just equals out between everyone. Of course, Jake and Arnaud do both have 6 seconds of penalties, so those two are out of the running for the race win. So really it's up to the front 3 to get it. Well, to fight between themselves as Khalifa gets past Corey, has a little love tap, but then goes wide, but he still keeps second position. And now it's Jake getting right on the back of Corey, looking down the inside. Corey squeezes him even further to the inside, but he gets the move done, going off track just a little bit. Corey looking down
Corey's
the inside.
Mad. That was silly. That was silly.
Yeah.
There was no need for that move. He'll say the same about Jake's move, but the retaliation there was no need for. Who's that pulling off out the way?
Michelle?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, he isn't.
We had 6. There are now 2. Jake is still sort of in the picture, but 3 seconds additional behind. So we have what I like to say a straight-up shootout between Khalifa and Casper. Less than a second between them, both with 1 penalty of 3 seconds and 1 2/3 lap to go. Who wins the opener here in Season 10? Previous opening day winners have consisted of Michael O'Kk, Jamie Wright, Khalifa in Season 3, Jamie Wright again in Season 4, Matthew Redmore Season 5, Casper did it in Season 6, Jamie Wright again in Season 7, Owen Wyatt in Season 8, and of course Arnaud last season. Will Casper or Khalifa add their name to another opening day victory in the Cup Series? Less than 1.5 laps to go.
Khalifa
Jake O'Sullivan.
Really deep there.
He certainly did, and Jake O'Sullivan's trying to make a menace of himself like he did to Corey a lap ago. And of course doing that would put Casper on the top step, which is something he would like. And here we go then. For the first time this season, it's 1 lap to go in JACKOCAR, not sponsored by Credit One Bank. We're not legally obliged to say that, or allowed to say that for that matter. But Casper brings us on to the final lap. And of course, he's already got past the point where he spun on the exit of turn 2 and Ben Shaw went flying past a handful of seasons ago. I believe that was season 6, round 3. The same season 6 where Casper Klein won the opening race. But Jake O'Sullivan, P3, still 3 seconds away. Khalifa, if he's timed this right, he should have one shot and one opportunity to get past Casper Klein. Can he do it? This is where all the moves have been made so far. He's closing, looks to the inside, lets Casper make a little bit mistake, and he's going to get one more DRS opportunity. Can he do it down here into the start of sector 3? He pulls out left and goes down the inside, and he makes the move stick. I think we've seen a final lap pass from Khalifa, unless Casper, it is final lap. Bump and run is available to you, but he's too far away, and we've seen a mugging in broad daylight. The champion finishes this race as he left last season. He's only gone and done it on the final lap. Khalifa wins 2 in a row and wins the opener of the final Cup Series season. What a brilliant final lap that was.
Yeah, it was really great final lap there, and just gotta feel bad for Casper, really. Just he did everything right, and he was always in the fight during the race, and then he just wasn't in the right place on the last lap. Of course, with how powerful the DRS and the slipstream is, you want to be in second within striking distance on the final lap, and that's where Khalifa was, and yeah, capitalised on it and won the race.
You dare look back to around 10 laps ago when Khalifa was sideways and facing Jordan's sidewall, not sidewall, bloody side pod is what I mean, and he went down all the way to P7. Khalifa led 2 laps in this race, lap 6 and lap 29. Casper, the man he overtook on the final lap, led 9 of them. He got the most laps led, but it really paid for nothing more than a single playoff point. The man walking away with the 5 playoff points, the race win, and get this, guys, one step closer to the Jamie Wright record of 19 wins all time. Khalifa moves up to 18 all time. That is massive. A record we thought that may never fall is falling. It's crumbling. And Khalifa, this is the man who is making that happen. The Bahraini national anthem does not play out around Albert Park because it's not in the game. It should be national anthems, but they're not. But he won't mind too much. It's another race win. It's the perfect way to start a title defence. And that is absolutely fantastic stuff from Khalifa El Khalifa. We'll move on to the race classification then. Casper Klein in P2, Jake O'Sullivan 3rd, Arnaud 4th, Kieran 5th, then Corey, Ben Harrett, Leroy, Jordan and Mike, and Danny Quinn will read you the rest because I need to get pictures and I almost forgot.
Yeah, we've got Gareth in 11th, Corey in 12th, Sullivan in 13th, Michael KK in 14th, Michelle in 15th, then we got Yuri, Jamie and Pete, all the DNFers that did not finish.
Thank you very much. That was very good of you. That's the first time I've nearly forgotten to take pictures, would you believe? Which makes my life difficult. I have to go into YouTube, look at the race results, get them from there. Where at least if they're on my phone, I don't have to do any of that. So yeah, that was JACKOCAR. That was the Cup Series. We are back. And the fun doesn't stop, does it? We are here next week, once again. It's a 21 race calendar, I think, held over 24 or 25 weeks, a whole third of a year we're here for. And next week is Saudi Arabia. Another classic, I'm sure, will come that way, will come our way. Danny Quinn, unless you have any closing thoughts, we shall end it here.
Not really, no.
Not really, no. There you go, you've heard it all. And on that awful bombshell, it is time to go. Thank you very much for watching. Good night, and God bless everybody.
See you.